Howdy, friends. It's time for Braves baseball. A beautiful afternoon here in Atlanta as we continue with our April in the ATL celebration of 30 games in 30 days. Today, a very special day at Turner Field. A big league debut is forthcoming as the Braves and Mets meet in Game 3 of our series. Hi again, friends. Chip and Joe, welcome back to the ballpark. Always a treat when a youngster strides to a major league mound for the first time. Today, Aaron Blair's debut in Atlanta.
Another red letter day. Mallex Smith has already made his debut. Now it's time for Aaron Blair to take to the mound against the New York Mets. He was off to a great start at Gwinnett where he was 3-0, and in his last outing he threw 7 no-hit innings. Good hard sinker, outstanding changeup. He's aggressive on the mound. I can't wait to see him work. He's out of Las Vegas and a former first-round draft pick by the Arizona Diamondbacks out of the University of Marshall. He came over in the Shelby Miller deal.
So the farm system pipeline is beginning to flow for the Braves. A.J. Brzezinski and Aaron Blair, the battery. Braves and Mets baseball coming up from Turner Field in a moment.
Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. Sports South is presented by your local Hyundai dealers. Not a cloud in the sky in Atlanta as Aaron Blair takes to the mound for the first time as a major league pitcher. He will face the New York Mets, and this is what Aaron thought about his first big league assignment.
I don't think words can describe how stepping on a major league field is for the first time, and I'm just really looking forward to it. And like I said, I'm blessed to have the opportunity to even, have a chance to step onto the field.
And for Aaron Blair, he is 23 years old. He'll be 24 next month. His minor league career numbers outstanding with a 3.13 ERA. Last year, AA and AAA, 6-3 with a 2.70 ERA. Very low batting averages against him across the board.
And his first big league pitch, a 90-mile-an-hour fastball off the plate to Curtis Granderson, the Mets leadoff man.
Granderson's had a huge series for New York. And there's his first strike. And a shot to right field, a leadoff single for Curtis Granderson.
Time for the forward keys to pitching success for Aaron Blair in his major league debut, and it's basically a scouting report today. First of all, he throws a very heavy, hard sinker. He's got a good slider and an outstanding changeup. Other qualities from scouting reports is that he throws strikes, he feels his position, he's very athletic on the mound, and has excellent mound presence.
So a leadoff hit for Curtis Granderson brings up Asdrubal Cabrera, the Mets shortstop. He's 3 for 8 in the series, and one of a number of red-hot hitting Mets. And that's off the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. And it's another hit, this time by Cabrera to right. Granderson around second. He's on his way to third. And right away, the hot-hitting Mets are back at it in the first inning, which has been their story for the last week and a half.
Yeah, they don't really care who's out on the mound. First inning has been a big inning for them during this long road trip. And Cabrera continues to swing the bat well. .322 average coming in. He's now 4 for 9 in the series.
Mets have scored in the first inning in 6 of their 8 games on this road trip. They're 9-3 when they score first. Not surprising with their starting pitching. And add to that all the home runs that the Mets have hit. 23 in the last 8 games. Aaron Blair is catching the Mets at a very, very tough time for a big league starting pitcher. And he's got Michael Conforto up there. Let's see if he can minimize the damage and get a ground ball. First and third, nobody out for the Mets left fielder Michael Conforto. One ball, one strike. Aaron's the 4th Brave to make his big league debut already this year. John Gant, Hunter Cervenka, and Mallex Smith the other 3. And that's popped into left near the line, and a diving catch. Jace Peterson, who drops the ball in foul ground. The out will count. Granderson tags and scores on the play. A great catch by Jace Peterson. And New York scores first. It's 1-0.
Great catch. Completely laid out for it. Right on the line. He did lose control of the ball, but after he was taking it out of his glove. And Curtis Granderson took off as soon as he hit the ground. That'll help stem the tide here in the first inning for the moment.
Yep.
Great catch.
It was a great catch. Jason's looked good out there in his 3 previous starts in left. And that brings up Lucas Duda, the Met first baseman. Duda's 1 for 8 so far in the series. Braves appeal at third to see if Granderson left too early. He did not. So the run stands. New York with their 11th first inning run on this 9-game road trip. One ball, no strikes.
He's been right at 90-91, which is about where he sits.
And he's not a total unknown commodity for A.J. Pierzynski, who's catching today for the Braves. As that one's popped back our way and out of play. Blair pitched 9 spring innings, gave up 8 earned runs, 4 games, 2 starts. So I would assume A.J. would have caught him a time or two.
It's not unusual for a guy, certainly in his major league debut, to come out a little amped up and maybe overthrowing where his ball is not moving as much as he would like. We'll see what a difference it makes now that he's recorded an out. Change up. I don't know if there was a direct flight this morning from Las Vegas to Atlanta, but I think there were a lot of members of the Blair family that made the trek to make it here for the day game.
And they're sitting right below us here at Turner Field. 1-2 pitch. Darted inside. It's now 2-2. $50 tickets. And so that gathering, you might say, Joe, is the Blair Pitch Project.
Yeah. They got here in time to get some Braves gear too.
Popped up out of play. Still 2-2.
You got to be pretty careful the way you say that.
That's well. That's a good point. Always exciting to see a kid make it to the big leagues. Two balls, 2 strikes. And it's full now for Lucas Duda.
After his sinker, his changeup is his best pitch, and then his breaking ball. Another report I got on his breaking ball is that it's okay, it's good enough, and he throws it away from hitters. So maybe a backdoor breaking ball here.
Swing and a miss. AJ's throws on the money. Strike him out, throw him out.
There you go. Another changeup.
The Mets had him first and third with nobody out and scored only 1 run. Welcome to the big leagues, Aaron Blair.
And AJ quickly got the baseball for him. Still have that for his trophy case.
His first major league strikeout is Lucas Duda, and we're underway in Atlanta. Escape artistry by Aaron Blair. First and third, nobody out, and only 1 run across for the New York Mets, who will send Jacob deGrom to the mound, Joe, for the first time in a long while today.
Take a look at these road splits versus home for his career. 12-7, same record, but his last 9 on the road, he's gone 6-0 with a 2.65 ERA. His last loss on the road came here back in June of last year.
His last start April 8th against the Phillies. And there's a reason for that. One, he had a lat issue, which had the Mets concerned. But Jacob deGrom also, with his lovely wife Stacey, became a parent for the first time. His son Jackson was born. And had to spend some time in the hospital before coming home, as this one's popped up by Markakis to left. And Conforto makes the grab for the first out. Happy to report that Jackson is home, doing well. Had some sleep apnea issues. Those have been cleared out and cleared up. And Jacob deGrom said to his wife, make sure Jackson stays awake today because I want him to see me pitch for the first time.
That's nice. Yeah, April 8th is a long time to go between starts. We'll see how sharp he is. Got the first hitter. Throws hard like all the Mets starters. Low to mid 90s. Curveball, slider, and a changeup.
And a base hit by Daniel Castro. He is something else. A 6-game hitting streak. Now working for the Braves shortstop. And his average over 300 now as he's aboard in front of Freddie Freeman.
High fastball, inside out stroke. He's hit in 6 straight starts.
Freddie Freeman trying to get that average over 200. He's at 190 now. And takes a ball high.
A couple of hits last night, including a double. 3 for 9 in the series. Some good signs.
That's golf toward left. Conforto going back. He's going to have room on the track. And hustling back to first is Daniel Castro after a long fly out by Freddie Freeman to left.
He hit that right on the button. Little breeze blowing in from left. Not like last night. But the Braves are in a home run drought, to be sure.
490 collective plate appearances between homers for the Braves, who've hit 3 as a team. Garcia's hit 1 of them. And Adonis has had a good series. 4 for 9. He's knocked in a run. And he bats with 2 outs. And that's fouled away for a strike. It's 0-1 to the Braves' third baseman.
DeGrom's record against the Braves, an excellent ERA of 1.95, but he's just 2-2. And 1-2 here at Turner Field.
Right back where it came from. Garcia with a solid single to center.
Left that one up. Little high slider. Touch out. Almost got Greg Gibson, the second base umpire, too.
So 2 on, 2 out for A.J. Pierzynski, our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard feature.
Yeah, it could be a red letter day for A.J. as well. Sitting on 1,999 hits.
And cute foul at the plate for the Braves catcher. No balls and a strike.
0 for 6 in his career against DeGrom. DeGrom's a Florida guy too, out of DeLand and Stetson University.
Of course, Chipper Jones knows all about Stetson University and DeLand, Florida. In fact, funny story in the papers, Chipper actually went to the Mets locker room to say hello to Jacob deGrom, talk about their families and the new baby. Good pitch. Chipper said, I can't believe I'm actually walking into the Mets clubhouse here at Turner Field. It's a big day for Chipper, too. He's 44 today. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a little pop out toward Cabrera at short, and that will retire the side. No runs, a couple of hits. We're through 1 in Atlanta. The Mets have an early lead.
A big physical kid, and he's a winner. I spoke with Phil Nevin, who's a friend of mine that managed him last year in Reno, and he said, Joe, you just broke my heart, dude. He said, you took this kid that we think is going to be really, really special.
And Joe, that was John Hart, of course, but I really liked your comments about Aaron Blair and how he hasn't been intimidated with success and tougher competition when he sees it for the first time.
Every time he gets moved up, he makes a big splash. He's not overwhelmed by his surroundings or the challenges that are in front of him. That's what impressed me about reading a lot about him. Even in college, when he went to between sophomore and junior year, he went to the Cape Cod League. He was the pitcher of the week in the Cape Cod League the first 2 weeks. He was the guy who pitched the elimination game for his team at the end of that season. But it's like he'd get called up from low A to high A and start off 3-0. He'd go from A to double A and start off 3-0. That happens repeatedly at every stop that he would make.
Ground ball and a base hit for Neil Walker. The Mets have 3 singles on the day, and Walker with a 6-game hitting streak is aboard in front of Wilmer Flores, who's giving David Wright the day off.
Well, there's no question that Aaron Blair is going to get tested today. Even with a couple of bench players in the game for the Mets, they are as hot as any team offensively in baseball.
Mets are averaging over 6 runs a game on the road trip. Braves trying to keep him from sweeping the 3-game series today. Rough start for Wilmer Flores at the plate, 1 for 17 after hitting over 300 this spring. And there's nothing wrong with David Wright. This is part of the seasonal plan for the Mets third baseman, who's got a back issue that they will keep a very close eye on all year long.
Plus, when you've got solid backups like Flores and Lagares, who are both in the lineup today, and has had a luxury. Talked about them at the beginning of this series, how they could be everyday players in a lot of places with other teams.
To first, Freeman scoops, fires to second for one. Return throw to first, a double play. There's a ground ball out. And the Braves have turned 2 double plays in the first 2 innings.
He's supposed to be a ground ball machine with that changeup and sinker. Good evidence right there. Good turn by Freddie, getting rid of it quickly. Remember Brandon Webb?
Yeah, the Cy Young winner with the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, great big horse of a guy. I think he was taller. I think he was like 6'7" or something before he ran into some arm trouble. That's who he reminds me of a little bit, who had an outstanding sinker and changeup.
And think about the park in which he pitched and how tough it is to survive if the ball's in the air at Chase Field. I think we'd all take that kind of career right now.
No kidding.
From Aaron Blair. This is Kevin Plawecki, the Mets catcher, and he's quickly down a couple of strikes.
Tim Tuffle, an outstanding major league infielder, knows when to get out of the way.
He'll be auditioning for Dancing with the Stars next week when the Mets get back to New York. And Plawecki, a pop-up right in the middle of the diamond. Who wants this? The answer is Kelly Johnson. Blair settling in. A single, a double play, and a pop-up. 1-0 New York. As well. A lot of goings on here in downtown Atlanta, including the big league debut of Aaron Blair. And that's the subject of our Coors Light Cold Hard Fact. Blair needs some offensive support in the run column against Jacob deGrom today.
This kind of goes to what I've been talking about with the lack of home runs. The Braves 10 hits off Kershaw, 7 off Harvey in just 5 innings, 9 last night off Matz, who was outstanding. But it's not parlaying into a lot of runs and a ton of men left on base. Just a couple of long balls here and there for some quick strike innings would make a huge difference for the Braves, who have lost 6 games by 1 or 2 runs.
And that's the frustrating part. In the first 17 played, Braves have lost 13 of them. But the Braves have had a lead in 11 of their first 17 games. Kelly Johnson Big part of the Mets run to the World Series last year. Was a little late. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ground ball to first, scooped up by Duda, and there's out number 1 for Jace Peterson. Well, last year everybody in New York was just going crazy because the Mets were 3 games out of first place. They were getting such great pitching performances. They could not score at all.
Nope.
And in the span of about 7 days, Sandy Alderson changed their team with a flurry of deals that involved the Braves for Uribe and Kelly Johnson. And Jace Peterson swings the first pitch and drives it toward Lagares in center. And there's the second out. They got Cespedes. They got Tyler Clippard. Then they got hot and turned a 3-game deficit into a 7-game walkaway to win the division title.
And the big acquisition was Cespedes. 71 games after they got him, he had 22 homers and drove in 57. That was a huge difference maker.
Alex Smith back in the lineup with a righty on the mound, and he takes a strike. And now for New York, the bullseye's on their back. They're the team that has to defend the divisional title, and they're trying to chase down the Washington Nationals, who have the best record in the game right now. Take it low for Alex. 2 balls and a strike.
And so far the Nationals are matching the Mets pitching game for game. You were telling me though about the Washington schedule here early on, a little soft.
Well, I was just saying, the naysayers say, well, the Nationals have played the Braves. They've beaten them 6 times. They're clobbering the Twins. They've played the Marlins, who've been disappointing, and the Phillies. That ball's hit toward right. Granderson drifting back, still going back, and at the warning track makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down. The Braves are down to the 2nd. Lagares leads off for New York. They're up 1-0.
Top of the 3rd, Aaron Blair making his major league debut, as we all know. But I got to say this, there was a time that scouting reports used to come on paper. Those days are over. They come on iPads now. Roger McDowell installing a system, proprietary information that especially goes out to AA and AAA teams in the Braves organization, so that when they get up to the big leagues, they are prepared and they have that system down. Back to you guys.
Paul, don't drop that.
That's really cool, Paul. So they all are already in tune to whatever Roger's got working when they get here.
They are, and I thought that was brilliant, because when you get up here, you're so nervous, you have so much on your mind. The last thing you need to do is learn a new system.
Can you shed some light on what your first start in the big leagues was like with respect to Aaron today and what he must have been feeling?
My first start, I was with the Mets in '95, and I thought Dallas Green, my manager, was going to ease me in. So, embarrassingly, I didn't think I was getting in the game. And when the phone rang and they called, I jumped up. I started warming up way too fast, throwing hard way too early. Blood rushed to my arm. I was a nervous wreck. That was just before the game started. When I got on the mound, I'm in Shea Stadium. It's huge. Nothing can prepare you to the size of the stadium, the crowd. And I remember just trying to breathe. My first big league strikeout was Jay Bell. And after that, I was able to get some air in my lungs, settle down, and throw some strikes.
Blair walks Lagares to start the third inning. 3 straight innings for the Mets to put their leadoff man on. And let's see if DeGrom lays down a bunt.
Good hitting pitcher. He was a shortstop in college before converting to pitching. Swings the bat well, and surprisingly only 4 sacrifice bunts last year.
DeGrom was standing in the batter's box when the ball hit him. That's a strike. So it's a battle of Marshall University versus Stetson University here in the New York third.
Story goes that Aaron Blair was invited to a showcase type camp down in Jupiter, Florida from his home in Las Vegas, and he was playing for a team called the Ohio Warhawks when a coach from Marshall University saw him and said, how would you like to come to West Virginia and pitch for us? And that's how that happened.
Bunted hard back to the mound. Had some funny spin on it, but it's a successful sacrifice. Lagares at second for the top of the order, and now 1 out. Curtis Granderson greeted him with a solid single to start the game and then scored on a sacrifice fly. All right, he's gone through the lineup once now. Let's see if Blair has learned anything about these hot hitting Mets. He trails in the game 1-0. Best fastball of the day, that one at 93.
You know, that all that stuff you get told prior to your first game or your first experience in the big leagues about, hey, it's the same game you've been playing since you were 5 years old. Once you get out there, it's the same game. No, it's not.
No?
No. Look around. Huge crowd. Huge stadium.
Huge pop-up. Who wants it? It'll be Nick Markakis. There's the second out.
Television cameras everywhere. Major league players that you know and have read about or seen play on TV growing up. It's not the same, and there within that are all kinds of inherent pressures that you put on yourself to do well. You want to do well.
They flew in 50 people from Las Vegas for crying out loud.
Yeah. So that old adage of it's the same game, maybe by the rules, yes, but not by your surroundings at all.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe between the white lines, but not your ears.
Yes.
As Cabrera hits, there's that big curveball. Strike one. Well, think about his day. Gets to Atlanta, or comes down from Gwinnett, I should say, gets to the ballpark, walks into a big league clubhouse for the very first time. As a ground ball to second to Kelly Johnson's going to end the inning. And that was just the start of the day. We'll continue that thought when we come back, because Aaron Blair is going to lead off the third inning. 1-0 New York.
Hyundai Sunday on Fox Sports South is presented by your local Hyundai dealers.
Beautiful day in Atlanta. As Aaron Blair is in the box for the first time in the major leagues, it takes a called strike. Blair, Markakis, and Daniel Castro are coming up. And DeGrom carves him up. That's his first strikeout of the day. One man down. So first day in the big leagues. Blair makes the drive down from Gwinnett, finds his parking place, right? Walks into the locker room. He's got to get his uniform, find out where his locker is, unpack his bag. He's got to go sign his first pro contract.
He was here early.
Right? I mean, you're handed a scouting report and the lineup card, and then, okay, kid, go get him. Not to mention the tickets and making sure family's taken care of. I mean, there's a lot going through his head today.
It was not a routine day for a guy who would be accustomed to a start every fifth day. It was anything but routine.
Well, you know, Chris Van Zandt and Ben Acree took great care of him to help him get all that stuff taken care of. But 50 tickets. Whew.
Yeah, that's a lot. I know what our pal Bill would have told him.
Bill Acree?
Yeah.
Oh, Markakis called out on a check swing. He didn't think much of that. 2 outs.
Markakis and Tom Payne had problems last night.
Yeah. Their day not off to a happy start.
I think Bill would have probably responded with something along the lines of, you know, our stadium only seats 50,000.
Oh, Bill and Cindy are doing great.
They
watching
are.
today. The pitch to Daniel Castro, a strike.
Probably down in St. Simons. Bill probably just got off the boat from fishing this morning so he could watch Aaron Blair pitch.
Daniel Castro picked up the first of 2 Braves hits in the opening inning. And he's got another one. So Castro's 2 for 2. And this is the good news, bad news aspect of the Braves offense. Something Jeff Francoeur talked about in the papers the other day. The Braves are getting their hits, but a lot of times, Joe, it's coming with 2 outs. And to quote Jeff, to score in those situations, you have to have a perfect at-bat. And there haven't been that many of those perfect 2-out at-bats.
And they may have an inning where they get 3 hits that produces a run, but that's not enough.
Right. Look at where Neil Walker is playing at second base. I mean, he's a good 40 feet on the outfield grass with Freeman up there.
Yeah, it's about as deep as I've seen anyone playing rover.
The wind has died down a bit. Let's see if Freddie can launch one ahead in the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. DeGrom tough against the Braves, tough on the road, tough in daytime. And he leads 1-0.
Did that to Markakis. He did it there to Freddie. Not afraid to pitch inside to make his secondary pitches a little more effective away.
Bouncer back to the mound, and that will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We head to the 4th. Time for our Synovus Greatness Made Here feature. Here are the notable first career starts for Williams Perez, Matt Whistler, and Mike Foltynewicz.
Two of those guys picked up wins. Both Foltynewicz and Whistler pitched well. Matt Whistler especially. Williams Perez, not all that bad. 6 hits, only 1 run allowed. And a walk and 7 strikeouts for him. There was another note, too, about Braves starting pitchers who have made their debuts against the Mets. Blair becomes the 6th Atlanta pitcher to make his major league debut against the Mets, and the previous 5 went 4-0 with a 1.91 ERA.
Matt Whistler had that dazzling debut last year against New York, 8 innings. Bruce Chen, David Need, John Smoltz, and Larry McWilliams. The other 5 besides Aaron Blair, who's settled in nicely now. See if he can get a leadoff man. That'll make things a little easier for him. He's got Conforto, Duda, and Neil Walker.
Talking to Keith Hernandez, broadcaster for the Mets and a terrific major league player, about Conforto after the game, and he was talking about how he's probably going to be.
Little pop. Jace is coming on. He's got it. 1 out.
That Conforto stays healthy, be their number 3 hitter for a very long time, and he said he is so strong in his lower half. He said he has got rocks for legs. They're so strong, and he uses them well in his swing.
Mets had a note. You know what he's hitting in the 3 spot in their lineup? 323 this year.
Is that right? Well, I think it's his place.
So a pop out gets the leadoff man for the Mets. First time Blair's done that today. And he tried to tie up Lucas Duda, who was his first big league strikeout victim. A.J. Przinsky then threw out Cabrera at second, strike him out, throw him out, double play, and that was it for New York in the opening inning. Braves kept the assignment for Aaron Blair on double secret probation from everybody until after the game last night. There was some thought that Mike Foltynewicz might have gotten the ball, or Ryan Weber. Both Blair and Foltynewicz were scheduled to pitch today. In fact, Mike's going to pitch for Gwinnett later on. That's a shot into center, a base hit for Duda the other way, and the Mets have their 4th single in the game. And here's Neil Walker, our Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot feature. Daniel Murphy's a Nat, Walker is a Met, and he is killing the ball right now.
Yeah, this was a move that they're not even thinking about Daniel Murphy with the way he's swinging the bat over the last 9 games. 6 homers, 7 RBIs. Switch hitter and batting right-handed against left-handed pitchers. He's 7 for 11 on the season.
The 7 home runs he's hit this month are tied for the most home runs he's hit in any calendar month in his big league career. The only other Mets second baseman with 7 or more April homers was Jeff Kent. And the Mets team record for April home runs in a month, or April home runs, is 9. Dave Kingman, Carlos Delgado, figure those 2 guys. John Buck.
Wow.
Remember a couple years ago when Buck got off to that huge start?
Crazy, went crazy on him.
Back to the mound. Blair's got it. There's 1. There's 2. The Braves have turned 3 double plays in the game. 3 double plays in the first 4 innings. That sinker is sinking from time to time. And it's still 1-0 New York with Garcia, AJ, and KJ coming up. Yes, but I'll bet that dog's name is Hank.
He's a hound dog.
And obviously a vegetarian. Oh, there you go.
There we go.
Bark in the Park Day. Our 2-legged guests got a Braves leash that they'll use to control the 4-legged guests. Swing and a miss by Adonis Garcia,
who represents the 500th at bat since the Braves' last home run, which was hit by Drew Stubbs.
Right back through the box. Garcia's on fire. That's 6 hits in the series.
Breaking ball. Again, look out, DeGrom. Adonis may be fielding about 800. He's hitting about 800 too.
So another crack at hit number 2,000 for AJ Pierzynski. 1,999 hits in 1,884 games as a catcher. Broken bat out to short, and Cabrera starts a double play. So that's the first twin killing for the Mets. That clears the bases. AJ broke his bat, and Kelly Johnson will hit with 2 outs.
DeGrom last year had a terrific season, but he especially was good under the bright lights of the All-Star game and the postseason. He pitched in the All-Star game, faced 3 batters, struck out all 3 of them on 10 pitches. Then he went to the postseason with the Mets, and all 4 of his starts were on the road, and he went 3-1 with a .288. He likes that gray uniform.
12-7 on the road. As that one is hit up the middle by Kelly. Walker, a jump throw to first, and a beautiful play. 8 pitches, retires Atlanta in the 4th inning. Neil Walker is doing it all for the Mets in the month of April. A great stab. And he's swinging a hot bat too. It's 1-0 after 4. Time for the 5th inning where the Mets lead 1-0. Aaron Blair in his big league debut delivers to Wilmer Flores. The Mets third baseman's hit into a double play and is 1 for his first 18 this year. Paul Bird's with us this afternoon. And Paul, with Blair moving through the Mets lineup for a second time this afternoon, I'd like to get your thoughts on what you've seen out of the young right-hander.
Well, Chip, is it too early to get on the Aaron Blair bandwagon?
Nope.
Yeah, I love this guy. Here's what I like. The first 12 pitches, 10 of them were away.
Flores pops up. Kelly drifts out. Malik Smith calls him off. Glasses gleaming, makes the running catch. 1 out.
So 10 of his first 12 pitches were away. All 4 hits that he has given up have been fastballs away. And they weren't up. They were at the knees. They were on the corners. So what he has already learned is I have to pitch to both sides of the plate. He has thrown the ball in as well as he has away. So I see excellent fastball command. The changeup, in general, most people will tell you it's the hardest pitch to learn. Major League scouts grade on a 20 to 80 scale, 80 being the best. I see a 70 to 80 changeup out of a 23-year-old right-hander. That is reason to get excited. You don't have to see 98, 99 on the radar gun. So I'm a big fan, guys.
Plawecki flies toward left. Jace Peterson to his left.
Something else, Paul, that I read a quote from Aaron where he said, "I'm not afraid to pitch to a hitter's strength if it's my strength." So I think that says a lot about his confidence in his own ability.
Very true. If you pitch just to the scouting report, I don't want to say that means you're scared, but that's giving the hitter too much credit. Yes, I agree. If a guy is a good fastball hitter and you have a good fastball, even if he has slider bat speed, but you have a John Smoltz slider, you're going to throw that slider anyways. So it's nice to see him already discover that. Mound presence, he's calm, he's not overthrowing. This guy's the real deal.
And as you see on our Fox tracks, Aaron's been very efficient so far in the game. He's an out away from working 5 complete innings. He's thrown 57 pitches so far. 3 double play balls have certainly helped his cause. The Braves have played good defense behind him, so all that he needs is a little run support.
Well, when he fielded that comebacker last inning, I mean, he turned quickly and made a perfect throw to Castro. No hesitation.
Harris didn't get enough of that ball. Full count. Like to get him. The pitcher's next. Like to start the 6th with DeGrom leading off.
Another good fastball that he bumped up to 93. As Tyler Flowers said in his quotes about him, what he learned in spring training, that he's not afraid to throw his changeup in fastball counts. This might be one of those times.
In the air to right and playable for Nick Markakis. 1, 2, 3. 3 flyouts for Blair. And he's through 5 innings, needing a run in his major league debut. For today's game with the Mets and before the game as well. That's a great group from the Sandy Plains Baseball Association, part of the pregame parade today, and they're enjoying things from the stands, and they're watching the game a man down today. Their pal, 10-year-old Jacob McGraw, couldn't be with them. Jacob's been battling some serious health issues and is hospitalized right now. But Jacob, everybody with the Braves wants to know they're thinking of you, and your teammates are thinking of you, and can't wait to see you happy and healthy and out here at the ballpark with your teammates soon.
Yeah, and that Sandy Plains group, that's out in my neck of the woods. Jacob, hope you feel better soon.
Ball 1 to Jace Peterson, Malik Smith, and then Aaron Blair in the Atlanta 5th inning. Doesn't look like DeGrom's been bothered by the layoff.
Yeah, we were hoping for rust. I don't see any.
He did throw a 71 pitch simulated game a couple of days ago, and then had a bullpen session in Port St. Lucie on Friday. Made his way to Atlanta shortly after that. And he's pitching with a purpose. First start as a dad, and he just gave up a 2-strike hit to Jace Peterson.
And that'll get something started. Breaking ball down and away. And on an 0-2 count, Chase did a good job of hitting that ball where it was pitched and didn't try to pull it.
That fly out from Alex went to right fielder Curtis Granderson. He's got a big hole if he can pull one. And that's back to the screen for a strike. Braves have 5 hits. They've out-hit the Mets today, 5-4. But New York got back-to-back singles in the first and a sacrifice fly to score the game's only run.
Not on an 0-2 count, but if your game involves bunting, as Malex's does, and it's something that he's still working on to improve on, but there would have been nothing wrong with trying to drag bunt there to try to bunt for a base hit, put runners at first and second, and then let Aaron Blair bunt them over into scoring position. I know there's a hole on the right side where he could swing away and pull the ball through there and maybe set up first and third, but when you're the type hitter Malex is, and you've got all those weapons that all revolve around your speed, use them and can continue to work on that bunting in particular.
1 ball, 2 strikes. This is the 40th at bat for Mallex Smith in the big leagues. And I don't think we've seen him try to bunt more than 3-4 times, have we?
No, he's shown it, a few times, but the actual part about putting the ball down, maybe a couple.
He's got the count 2-2. Jace with a good lead at first draws a throw.
And I was taught that even if, especially with nobody on base, and even if the third and first baseman are playing in, and you don't have any intention to bunt, show it anyway. It might be a strike you take, perhaps, but if you still show that you might bunt and draw him in even closer, you have a better chance of hitting the ball by him.
That's hit to left. Conforto drifts back.
And that's something that Kevin Seitzer and Freddie Gonzalez will want him to cut down on. Quit hitting the ball in the air
and striking out.
Pop-ups are almost the same thing as a strikeout to Malex, because you've got a better chance of beating out and putting pressure on the defense if you're putting the ball in play on the ground than you do hitting it in the air.
Blair struck out in his first big league at bat. Peterson's at first with 1 out. And he's going to show bunt. And it's high. 1 ball, no strikes. Blair's trying to give him an out. He's ahead in the count.
And DeGrom is basically just trying to air out some fastballs and make it hard for him to soften it. And he's missing out of the zone.
That's pushed toward first. Duda look to second and takes the sure out. So Blair gets the sacrifice down. Peterson in scoring position, represents the tying run. And Nick Markakis will come to the plate. Right guy at the right time for Atlanta. Markakis with 13 of Atlanta's 58 RBIs this year.
That was an excellent jump on the bunt by Jace Peterson. That ball was bunted hard, and Duda was right there, but because Jace got a good jump and has good foot speed, didn't hurt either. They didn't even have a play at second base.
This will be a nice time for Nick to heat up. He's 2 for his last 18 on the homestand.
Drove in a run last night with a 2-out hit. Drive in Drew Stubbs.
Braves entered play with a .319 team average with runners in scoring position. They're 0 for 1 with Risp today. A base hit to right. Here comes Peterson around third. Granderson loads up. His throw almost hit Nick Markakis at first. An RBI hit ties the game 1 apiece.
Boy, add to that number. Like he was trying to turn that ball over a little bit. Change up, down and away. Nick's all over it. Now watch his throw. It was more like he was trying to throw him out at first. Look out, Nick. Nice save there by Duda. Tie game.
New life for Blair and the Braves. Here's Castro 2 for 2. And a strike. Daniel with 2 singles. He's bumped his average up to 344 today.
Daniel's doing a great job of hitting the ball the other way, hitting it up the middle, but as we've said before, he can ambush a fastball in too and turn on it.
Daniel hit a couple of home runs with the Braves last year. And caught everything. Made just 1 error in his 33 major league games.
One of those 2 home runs was off Steven Matz, who pitched last night.
First career homer September 11th. I'm not sure if that was the Matz game or not.
It was.
Was it?
Uh-huh.
Let's see if he can get DeGrom in the book. Right now it's more of a leaflet than a book as far as the home runs are concerned, but one can hope.
Hadn't gone to the 3-ring binder yet.
Not quite yet.
Leaflet. That's good.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And a good eye, even count. What a gorgeous day, huh?
Yeah, beautiful.
A great crowd on a sparkling Sunday here for the Braves and Mets. Broken bat. DeGrom deflected that, and all hands are safe. That's an infield hit and a 3-hit day for Castro.
I'm not sure Jacob's heart was even in there. It was just kind of throwing his glove behind him, almost like, you know, if I had squared up, I could have fielded this. He made an honest effort for it, tried to get over there and get it, but help Castro out here because then Cabrera doesn't have a play. First, I thought he just kind of did a 360 spin wave at it, but not so.
So the first visit from the Mets pitching coach Dan Warthen. Braves have 3 hits in a run here in the 5th inning, and Freddie Freeman is the batter.
And again, they've got 7 hits off Jacob DeGrom. They have 3 hits this inning and a run. But that's what it's taking. It's taking 3 or 4 hits in an inning to push a run across.
Well, hitters say when they're going badly and they're good hitters for their career, someone's going to pay at some point. Freddie Freeman's a .297 lifetime hitter against the Mets. He's hit 16 homers against him. He is due. See if he gets a fastball on the first pitch. Nope, breaking ball. And this one is speared by DeGrom, and the throw to first will retire the side. But the Braves have gotten the game tied. A Nick Markakis single with 2 outs makes it 1-1. We count down the final days here at Turner Field. Today, Leo Mazzoni gets the honors.
And a good hand from this big crowd. Happy to see him back at the ballpark. Leo, always a willing participant in all the alumni activities.
And I'll bet he'd be pretty impressed with the pitchability of Aaron Blair, who's starting the 6th, now tied, and with the Mets pitcher Jacob DeGrom leading things off. DeGrom laid down a sacrifice his first time up and nearly got hit with that pitch. Got the Red Sox in town. Boston, Monday and Tuesday nights here in Atlanta. Julio Teheran and Matt Whistler will pitch for the Braves. Rick Porcello and David Price will pitch for the Red Sox. David Price is undefeated, but with a 7.0 ERA for Boston.
It's hard to do, isn't it?
Then we'll head to Boston Wednesday night and Thursday nights. And then to Wrigley Field next weekend. The 2-0 is fouled off AJ's foot. 2 balls and a strike. Blair at 6'5", big wingspan, cut that off, and DeGrom's the first out. Love the economy, love the 3 pitches, love that he doesn't get rattled, and at least twice in the game, Joe, when he's had men on base, he's been able to get the ball on the ground.
He has, and he's put a bunt down that helped himself, led to a run. At this stage, actually, I think just watching him by the 2nd inning, he was settled in. He was more comfortable with his surroundings.
And from a Braves team perspective, he's giving Freddie Gonzalez and Roger McDowell something they desperately need out of the starting rotation. Atlanta's in the middle of a 16-game stretch without a day off. And let's face it, the Braves bullpen has had to be used a lot over the last 7-8 games.
Yeah, they're beat up. A lot of work.
Almost 4 innings per game on average by the Braves relief corps, which looks different today to make room for Blair. Matt Marksberry was sent to AAA after being summoned from AA yesterday.
Yes, he did. Oh. If he'd have hit it, it would have been a double.
And Granderson walks. So 1 out pass puts him at first base for Asdrubal Cabrera. That shortstop is 1 for 2.
Second walk today. In 19 innings at Gwinnett, he only walked 5. So that's part of his repertoire too, throwing strikes. Doesn't walk a lot of guys.
Well, let's see if he can get another ground ball and a double play to push this to the home 6th. Cabrera has a hit in 8 of the last 11 Mets games. And that's outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Home run here last night, his first with New York. And out of play, even count. The Mets go home and start a homestand with the Reds tomorrow night. Noah Syndergaard, Bartolo Colon, and Matt Harvey will pitch against the Reds. Who can't wait for the Cubs to leave town. Chicago's got an 8-0 lead on them again today. Anthony Rizzo's hit a couple of homers. The pitch is upstairs to Cabrera. AJ wanted that call. 2 balls and a strike.
This guy Cabrera, when he broke in with the Indians, 3 homers in 45 games, 6 homers in 114, 6 homers in 131 games. And then all of a sudden in 2011 he had 25 homers and drove in 92.
And he's got a hit to right. Granderson will make his way to third base without a play. And the Mets in the 6th have runners at the corners and 1 out.
That was very similar to the pitch that he pulled to right field his first time up.
And Roger McDowell makes a quick trip. And action has begun in the Braves bullpen. Alexi Ogando is beginning to loosen up. I would imagine for a young major league pitcher, one of the most difficult things to do is get through a big league lineup for a 3rd time.
Well, it's also something that this is another one of the things that has plagued the Braves here in the first month are shutdown innings. You get a run back to tie the game, and it seems like the opponent always is able to come back and steal the momentum away.
A double play would end the inning. And 4 of those hit it in the air twice, once for a sacrifice fly. He's missed inside twice.
He likes the ball out away from him, likes to extend his arms, trying to keep the ball down and in on him. Now it looks like they're going to go away.
He's battled back to an even count.
That was a good pitch. Had some late movement on it.
Strikeout would be nice. Let's see what Aaron comes up with on a 2-2 count. Fly ball well hit to right. Markakis back. It is over his head, and that'll bounce into the stands for a double. So a 2 RBI day for Michael Conforto. Granderson scores. Cabrera will be stopped at third, and the Mets are back in front. It's a 2-1 game.
Looked like a high breaking ball, and that will end his day. No, it was a changeup. Changeup, and he hit it hard. He was frustrated that he didn't hit the changeup before, but he got that one.
Well, a lot of positives for Aaron Blair as he leaves the mound, gets a nice ovation from the faithful here at Turner Field. His first big league game, and there was a lot of very impressive work for the youngster. 2-1. New York has the lead. Incredible day for young right-hander Aaron Blair, making his major league debut. First strikeout was Lucas Duda in the first inning, with New York scoring on a sacrifice fly. He's given up a run in the sixth, departs with men at second and third. And Joe, there's his line, 80 pitches.
And a couple of runners still on base that belong to him, so he'll rely on Alexei Ogando to try to keep those guys from scoring. Ogando has inherited 7 runners and 4 have scored. Infield's going to play in.
Lucas Duda, the Mets first baseman, is the hitter with runners at second and third. Duda's 2 for 2 against Ogando. He gets ahead, strike one.
No, I was very impressed with Aaron Blair today, and especially, as you keep saying, the economy, getting ground balls when he needed them. 3 double plays turned behind him, 1 that he started himself, so all that was very positive.
Nothing in 2. Now
Good start for Ogando here.
The question is, will he stay in rotation?
I would think so.
And if so, his next start, well, how about this? First road start would be at Wrigley Field.
He could handle it based on what we saw here today.
Nothing in 2 for Lucas Duda.
Really need a strikeout here. Good battle by Duda, which if you can retire Duda without any damage, pitch around Walker or put him on, load the bases with 2 out and pitch to Flores, who does not have that many at bats and is 0 for 2 today, 1 for 19.
Fly ball center. Mallex Smith retreats. He's still going back. And a step shy of the track makes the catch. Cabrera will score. Conforto moves up to third on a deep sacrifice fly by Duda. That earns him his 12th RBI, and the Mets extend their lead to 3-1. As Joe said, that run belongs to Aaron Blair. So 2 outs for Walker, who hit his 100th career homer here yesterday. And the Braves will go after Wilmer Flores with 2 outs. Brady Gonzalez pondering his bullpen options. And they're at first and third.
Right now it looks like nobody's answering.
They're too tired to answer the phone. Braves pen has worked 60 2/3 coming into play today, averaging 3 2/3 innings pitched per game. In fact, Arbuckle Jenkins, our stat man, told me that the first 18 games the Braves have only 2 starts that have gone as many as 7 innings this year. Swing and a miss by Wilmer.
And there are several phones in the dugout. That doesn't necessarily mean that Freddie was calling the bullpen either.
Foul back. Wilmer Flores is only 24 years old. He's a big kid, 6'3", 203 pounds. 16 homers last year for the Mets. Runner at first goes and out of play. Sometimes the best trades are the ones you don't. They had him traded for Carlos Gomez, and Mets apparently found something wrong with the medicals, and Flores, who was in tears when he heard the news, was relieved to find out that he wasn't going to Milwaukee.
Became an instant hero to the Mets fans.
1-2 pitch is cut on and missed, and Ogando continues the early season struggles of Wilmer Flores. The Mets score a pair in the 6th inning and lead 3-1.
Time for your Xfinity game break. We'll head over to Cincinnati where the Reds were hosting the Cubs. And Anthony Rizzo, man, he has been on fire recently, tearing it up. He had 2 home runs today. There's bomb number 1. That would make it 3-0. He's rounding the bases, and here comes number 2, all in the first 3 innings of the game. He's tied for the lead in the MLB with 8 home runs, and the Cubs lead the majors in runs scored. Chicago leads that game 8-0.
Thank you, Kelsey. Tommy La Stella, former Brave, has also had a homer and 2 doubles for Chicago.
And it's now up to 9-0.
Cubs are good. And
Rizzo went to San Diego, correct me if I'm wrong, and didn't hit a lick.
We saw him very early in his Padre career, and everybody kept saying, this guy's going to be the next great hitter. Remember how lost he looked against the Braves? Couldn't hit breaking balls.
They'd acquired him from Boston, and I'm not even sure, but what they might have sent him back to AAA for a little while. And the Cubs snapped him up.
That was a deal for Andrew Kashner. And Anthony Rizzo, part of that young offensive core that the Cubs have, with John Lester, Jake Arrieta, and on you go. Cubs with a 3.5 game lead over the Cardinals, trying for their 14th win. And we're headed to Wrigley next weekend as DeGrom, with a 2-run lead now, is going to get busy. That is his 3rd strikeout. And Garcia's perfect day comes to a close at the plate. Here's AJ. Let's see if he can pick up number 2,000 right here. He's 0 for 2. Rolled foul by the Braves catcher. Shot just foul. Bouncing ball right side. Duda's got it. Flipped to the pitcher at the bag. And that's the 2nd out of the Braves' 6th inning. AJ's 0 for 3. And Kelly Johnson is coming up.
One of the things that I was suspect of the Mets in their effort to repeat this year and to compete with the Nationals was their defense. I didn't know that they would be a good enough defensive club with Wright's injuries. Duda at first base, limited range. Darno, talked about him behind the plate on a regular basis, has had trouble throwing at runners, but they've only made 5 errors as a group so far. They're playing much improved, solid defense.
Well, if their pitchers strike everyone out, there's never a ball in play, so that's probably
that probably has something to do with it.
That's an excellent point. I think the same is said of the Washington Nationals, how much improved they've played defensively. With Danny Espinosa at shortstop instead of Ian Desmond. And conversely for the Braves, that's been a big problem this year. Atlanta has committed 16 errors. And physical errors happen, but there have been a few careless ones on throws that have cost the Braves runs. And consequently a couple of chances to win. Kelly skies that one foul left side. And a fan from Villarica will chase down the foul ball.
So Chipper turned 44 today, huh?
44.
Looks older.
A cue shot. Bare hand try. Wilmer Flores safe. Speaking of Chipper Jones, how about Flores with a barehanded try at third? And Kelly legs out a 2-out infield hit.
That had a lot of spin on it too, for him to be able to grab it barehanded and hang on. Made it a close play. And Chipper was as good at that as anybody.
And that's going to be the end of the line for Jacob deGrom. deGrom with 5 2/3 of work, his first start since April the 8th. And I bet you Terry Collins saying, don't forget this one. Your first start as a proud new father. And he leads 3-1 for his young son Jackson.
Williams, your local Ford dealer. And Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports.
3-1 New York as you see the bronze bust of Henry Aaron outside Turner Field. Braves invite you to take part of the VIP road trip, which heads to Kansas City to see the Braves take on the world champion Royals May 13th, 14th, and 15th. If you book your trip by noon on Thursday, April 21st, you'll get an autographed baseball and a pair of 2016 Turner Field final season field level game tickets. Go to Braves.com/road trip for all the details.
Jim Henderson in his 10th ball game. Throws hard, slider, mid to sometimes upper 90s with his fastball.
That one at 92, and Jace Peterson fought it off.
Pretty obvious that deGrom was on a pitch count today, and he was at 82 when they took him out. May have been letting him have the opportunity to finish the inning until the base hit by Kelly. And when you haven't pitched in 2 weeks, probably a good idea.
And to quote the great Ron Burgundy, I'm sure that for Jacob deGrom, it's a glass cage of emotion. Everything that's going through his mind over the last 2 weeks. First of all, I had to worry about the lat injury. Then his first child is born. There were some sleep complications. Those have been cleared up. deGrom spent some time with his wife Stacy back in Central Florida, attending to Jackson. He's home. They were watching the game today, and then wanting to go out and beat the Braves and try to finish off a 3-game series sweep. So a lot going on for deGrom, who was up to the challenge today.
Nice stop by Plawecki. That ball bounced a good 5 or 6 feet in front of home plate.
You know what he's saying right there?
No.
I'm glad that wasn't Syndergaard who threw that pitch.
Oh, good point. You'd have another indentation.
2 balls, 2 strikes. At the knee, strike 3. Henderson puts out a fire in the 6th inning. And off we go to the 7th, where the Mets lead Aaron Blair and the Braves 3-1. Day to fly, and we know our friends at Delta Airlines are doing just that today. They'll be taking us out of town after the game on Tuesday. Thanks to Matt Coney and our friends at Delta Airlines, getting us from city to city all summer long. Seventh inning in Atlanta. 3-1 Mets lead. Bottom part of the order up for Alexi Ogando, Plawecki, Lagares, and then Henderson's spot.
Just down by 2. Got to hold them right there. See if you can do some damage against the Mets bullpen.
Mentioned the pitch that Syndergaard threw that caught Plawecki on a bounce. That's the indentation underneath his uniform top and undershirt and the catcher's chest protector. Fouled away. Last start for Syndergaard, he had 12 pitches over 100 miles an hour. And of all the Mets, he might end up being the best of the bunch.
He was running in the outfield doing his conditioning work yesterday. Looked like Fabio running in the outfield.
Just hear him now on this cool day in Atlanta. I can't believe it's not hotter. That flowing hair. He'll be bringing the heat to the Reds as they open up a series in New York tomorrow. Full count for Plawecki. And ball 4. Ogando spun out of his delivery, looks at the mound. And he'll go to the stretch to start the inning.
1-out walk in the 6th inning led to 2 runs against Aaron Blair.
And that's the story for the Braves today. Aaron Blair got the call up. And in his debut, 6 hits, 3 runs in 5 1/3 innings through 80 pitches. Braves turned 3 double plays behind him. He struck out Lucas Duda for his first big league punch out. But the Braves are down a couple of runs in the late innings and hope to avoid a 10th loss already here at Turner Field. Braves are 1-9 at home. Cervenka getting ready to pitch. And pop back out of play. Got the big Toby Mac concert after the ball game today. That's another reason for the big crowd. Braves always have a great home post-game concert series from season to season, so hope the fans enjoy the show after the show.
Yeah, it's a pretty good list of people. Chris Stapleton among them.
One ball, 2 strikes for Juan Lagares. And the Mets have the luxury of Yoenis Cespedes. He's out with a sore upper leg for Terry Collins. He re-aggravated that injury on a slide here the other night. But they're able to plug in Lagares to play center field in Cespedes' absence today. As Lagares didn't get that, he struck out. Good pitch by Ogando for the first out. Cespedes signed a big contract, but could be a free agent at the end of the year. So that's something to keep an eye on as we begin to move into the summer months. And Eric Campbell will hit for Henderson here with 1 on and 1 out. Campbell's out of Norwich, Connecticut. 8th round pick by the Mets in 2008. He was on the New York Vegas shuttle a couple of times last year. Hit .363 at AAA. Hit .197 in 71 games in New York.
Up and down a lot the last several years.
He spent parts of 3 seasons at AA. Full year at Vegas in 2013. Hit .314 and then .355 at Vegas. No balls, 2 strikes. And 3 pitches takes care of Campbell.
Now Freddie's going to make a double switch.
Jeff Francoeur is going to come in the game. He'll replace Jace Peterson. And Hunter Cervenka is going to come on and try to retire Curtis Granderson and send this game to the 7th inning stretch. 3-1 New York. Game 3 of the series.
By your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. The Georgia Lottery. And Synovus, the bank of here.
Mets 3, Braves 1. The 7th inning continues here at Turner Field. This is your final year, of course, to take a guided tour of the Braves home ballpark. You can take a behind-the-scenes tour of the Braves press box, broadcast booth, clubhouse, and dugout. The highlight of which, of course, is David Poole's hot dog machine in our home press box. Tours are offered all year long. You begin with the Braves Museum and Hall of Fame. Carolyn Sarah does a marvelous job with all the Braves memorabilia out there, so make it a point to stop by and see that next time you're in town here in Atlanta.
Hunter Cervenka on to pitch to Granderson. 7th game for him. No runs allowed. Lefty's hitting $1.25 off of him. If you want to look to one guy for the Mets in this series who's done the damage, he's at the plate. Mets have scored 17 runs. He's accounted for 11 of them. He drove in 5 in game 1. He has scored 6 runs himself. 6 for 12 is a hitter and 2 walks added in. He's been on base 8 times in 3 games.
Can't do much better than that as a leadoff hitter.
No.
He walked his last time up. That was the 2nd run that was given up by Blair. And Cervenka paints a corner, even count.
And he's run the bases well. He's gone 1st to 3rd on some singles to right. Remember, he tagged up at 3rd on the great catch that Jace Peterson made in the 1st inning. It was caught in foul territory.
Hunter Cervenka has done a nice job since getting the call. 6 consecutive scoreless outings to start his career. The longest scoreless outing streak to begin a career by a Braves pitcher since Shea Simmons began with 7 straight 2 years ago. Called up on April 11th from Mississippi.
Cutters and curveballs. That was a good cutter right there.
Bryce Harper was his first big league strikeout victim. He'd like to get Curtis Granderson here with a 2-2 pitch. And he did just that. Cervenka continues his good work. The Mets struck out 3 times in the top of the 7th inning and failed to add to a 2-run lead. It's a 3-1 game with Smith, Francoeur, and Markakis scheduled to come to the plate for Atlanta. And as has become customary here at Turner Field on home Sundays, we will welcome Timothy Miller to the center of the diamond, and he will sing God Bless America before a big sun-splashed crowd here to see the Braves and Mets in the 3-game series finale at Turner Field.
As we raise our voices in a solemn prayer.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with her light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
By Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day.
See if the Braves can come back from a 3-1 deficit to the Mets here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Let's take a look at today's Toyota key play. Here's how the Braves scored their lone run.
Had to manufacture it. Got a base hit from Jace Peterson, a 1-out bunt from Aaron Blair, and then a key 2-out single by Nick Markakis. Plated Jace. Braves were on the board. That's their run of the day. They do have 8 hits. They'll try to get some more off Hansel Robles, who came in last night after Markakis had driven in a run. Got a ground out and a strikeout to get the Mets out of trouble. It's his 10th appearance of the year.
He's got the bottom of the order, but Freddie, with the double switch, has Jeff Francoeur lurking after Mallex Smith. Then Nick Markakis. So let's see if the Braves can get something going here. A run on 8 hits for Atlanta. And there's Mallex showing bunt.
Pull him in, even if you're not going to drop it down. Pull him in on that first pitch.
Duda's even with the bag at first. Wilmer Flores in on the grass at third.
This guy throws hard. He's in the can rush it up there in the mid to upper 90s with a slider.
Butted right behind the plate. Plawecki with a diving try couldn't spear it.
Catcher's trying to find that pop up, knowing it's not very high, trying to get the mask off, locate it. And he almost got it. Good angle there. That close.
That slap to the left side out of play. Still 2-2. Put him on.
Yeah, anyway. Should get a good pitch to hit here.
Popped right behind the plate. Just past the scout seats. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Join us after the game. Braves Live will be on our air. It's presented by Xfinity. Braves have lost 4 in a row. They'd like to snap that late and prevent a Mets sweep. This 3-game sweep by the Mets over the Braves came exactly 1 year ago today. 3-2. Ground ball. Walker surrounds it. And got Malix by a step. 1 down.
Much better. Put that ball on the ground and run. Barely got him.
Jeff Francoeur's had an excellent homestand. 2 hits in each of his last 3 starts.
292.
Started 1 for 12 at the plate. He's 6 for 12 since.
Little quick pitch attempt there by Robles. Looked like he was going to throw out of the stretch, but went right into a windup.
Jeff played with the Mets, you'll recall, in 2009 and 2010. Braves traded him for Ryan Church. Fought that off. $32,085 in attendance. Dogs not included. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Plawecki couldn't hold on. Robles signed by the Mets as an undrafted free agent in 2008. He's a cattle rancher in the Dominican Republic. And a flip into right, but it's going to carry out to Curtis Granderson.
That's too bad. Just trying to guard the plate. It sounded like he hit one off the end of the bat. He still hit it too good. Cattle rancher, huh?
Yep. So he and LaTroy Hawkins would have something to talk about. So LaTroy Hawkins, former major league reliever, is doing these days. And here's Markakis. Nick has an RBI hit. That's up the middle. And Nick Markakis back into the swing of things. Another multi-hit game for the Braves right fielder. That brings the tying run.
That was kind of weird. I was watching Walker on that, and I don't know if he was anticipating how the pitch might be hit and kind of leaning to his left, but he was really at his weight going to the left, and that ball was hit up the middle to his right. And had a hard time then crossing over to go for it.
Could he have lost that in a light uniform top behind the plate?
Could have.
Well, let's see if Castro can chase home Markakis. He's had a perfect day at the plate. Every day Daniel plays, he gives you an effort that can help you win a game. Daniel's third multi-hit game of the season for Atlanta. His first 3-hit game. Let's hope Robles is thinking about the man waiting on deck. If Castro reaches, a long one from Freddie Freeman would turn the game around.
Robles threw last night and he was airing it out, but he hasn't popped any 95s today. Short turnaround for him. He's been around 91, 92.
And a swing and a miss will retire the side.
Until then.
Yeah. Saved his best for the last pitch of that sequence. 96 miles an hour sends us to the 8th. We're winding down April in the ATL. 30 Braves and Hawks games in 30 days, and we're wrapping it up with a Boston Sweet Tea Party. It all starts tonight at 5:30 Eastern. The Hawks battle the Celtics in Game 4 of the NBA playoffs over on Fox Sports Southeast and Fox Sports Go. Tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern. Stick with us here on Fox Sports South and Fox Sports Go. We start our series with the Boston Red Sox, 2 home, 2 away against our friends from the American League East.
Maybe the Hawks can come home with a 3-2 lead. Finish them off.
Be great.
At Phillips Arena.
Hunter Cervenka is back out there for the 8th inning as Drupal Cabrera leads off. There's action in the Atlanta bullpen. AJ just bailed.
Everybody was.
Yeah.
Vacating the premises. Batter, catcher, umpire, everybody was leaving. And I think Lance Barksdale got hit with it as a result. Lance, you've been around long enough. If the catcher's running, you need to go with him.
I just thought of something. First the pitch. How apropos is it that Lance Barksdale is working the plate today?
Oh, good call.
Right?
Yeah. Boy, every once in a while the clouds part and you come up with a good one.
Terrifying, man. Early start, the synapses are all working the right way. Fly ball deep right center. Malik Smith's got it. A step shy of the track. And Cabrera flies out. 4-out number 1.
Barksdale in the park day.
And we have a grand total of 10 strikeouts I have in the game, so it's not a K9 effort.
Good try, though.
Yep. Well, it's great seeing the fans with the dogs at the ballpark. Bet you that dog's name is Killer. Foul straight back. Good day for Michael Conforto. He's knocked in 2 of the 3 Mets runs. The only thing that would have made the umpiring crew better is if we'd had Jim Wolf. 2 balls and a strike. And out of play, foul. In all seriousness, though, Jeff Kellogg was on this crew, and he was hit with a foul ball off Nick Markakis' bat in the first inning on Friday. And ball came off the bat at well over 100 miles an hour, and Jeff was able to walk off the field under his own power, but he's apparently undergoing the concussion protocol for the Major League Baseball umpires. And hope Jeff's going to be all right. Hopefully he'll get back behind the plate and on the field real soon. He's a good umpire.
We wish him our best.
I really applaud Major League Baseball for their efforts in, what's the word I want to use, acknowledging the concussion issue in this sport. Strike 3, good pitch to freeze Conforto. Cervenka continues his good work. A couple of strikeouts in an inning so far.
Good curveball caused him to flinch. Doing all those cutters, and then you drop that on him. Causes a left-handed hitter to kind of rear up, raise his shoulders up so he can see the pitch, because it was kind of a big over-the-top curveball. Good one. Yeah, I applaud all the sports for going that extra mile to try to prevent and certainly treat a concussion issue.
And it's so hard to do. I mean, if you have a sprained ligament or a torn ligament or a cut on your foot, you can see that. How do you diagnose a brain injury? So yeah, short the what is it, the concussion disabled list. There's a shorter than 15-day deal for players to go through the protocol. 7 days. Better equipment. We've talked a lot about Tyler Flowers' catcher's mask with the lighter weight materials and the springs to help soften the blows of the foul balls back to the screen and to the mask.
Another good pitch from Hunter. Low and away on the corner. Let's see if he tries that big curve.
Good call, Joe. He just missed with it, though. 2-2.
Tried it away instead of throwing it at him. Hunter's a big guy and can throw hard.
Up the middle, the Braves had him played perfectly, and the throw to first is in time, and that retires the side. Here we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. 3-1 New York. Freddie Freeman, and the Braves have 6 outs left.
That's a good autograph.
It is a good autograph. Very distinctive, isn't it?
Yeah, looks like 2 7s with his name written through there.
And he'll start things off against Jerry Blevins, a crafty veteran left-hander.
He didn't pitch here last night, but he did pitch Friday night, a 1/3 of an inning, and got a strikeout. That was against A.J. Brzezinski.
Blevins had a star-crossed year last year. Was traded late in spring training from the Nationals to the Mets. Got hit with a line drive that broke his forearm, and after it healed, fell off a curb and re-broke the arm. He's faced 12 left-handed hitters. They have 3 hits against him. Righties 0 for 5, so reverse splits.
And with the left-handed pitcher, the Mets don't shift quite as much for Freeman. Walker's still out in shallow right field, but Cabrera's more right up the middle. Now he'll move over.
Not close.
That wasn't a bad strategy either, because down 2, if you put on a big shift early on for the left-handed pitcher, Freddie might push a bunt down and bring the tying run to the plate. So they tried to take that away from him until they got to 2 strikes.
He's worked the count full.
You shift all you want. If you don't throw strikes, it doesn't matter, does it?
Nope. Hung a breaking ball, and Lagares on the run got an excellent jump, and he'll track it down for the first out. So that's how the home eighth starts. Freeman flies to center. He's 0 for 4. Braves fans become an A-list member today and get the best seats for the final year here at Turner Field and the first year at SunTrust Park, with several different ticket options and exclusive benefits for your unique needs. Don't miss out on becoming an A-list member today. Go to Braves.com/A-list or call 404-577-9100. 2 more hits for Adonis Garcia. And rifled back toward the Mets broadcast booth.
Adonis does go up there hacking.
Golf towards center. 2 out.
Get that right on the nose.
I was going to say, it's got to be frustrating facing a guy like Blevins who doesn't throw hard. You hit it right on the button, but you have to supply all the power.
Frustrating for Adonis. He just can't hit a ball any harder than that.
Another chance for A.J. Pierzynski to pick up hit number 2,000 today. Little pop. And Cabrera tracks it down, and A.J. almost found a hole. Blevins works a perfect 8th, and we're off to inning number 9 at home.
Delta Airlines, and Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports.
Tomorrow, stay with us right here on Fox Sports South. The Braves will enter interleague play for the first time. The home and home series begins with the Boston Red Sox tomorrow night. We're on the air at 6:30 on Fox Sports South and streaming live on Fox Sports Go with Braves Live. Then Joe and I will have all the action. Game 1 of the series. Julio Teheran and Rick Porcello will be the starters tomorrow as we continue April in the ATL, presented by Cook's Pest Control.
Now Porcello's off to a great start too. He's 3-0. And as mentioned, David Price will pitch here Tuesday night. Jason Grilli's going to work the 9th inning, his 8th game, and the more work for him, the better. 7 walks, 8 strikeouts. The 8 strikeouts right in keeping with Jason in 6 innings. The 7 walks are not.
Neil Walker greets him first. Walker's reached twice, base on balls and a strikeout. Excuse me, a base on balls and a base hit for Walker. Wilmer Flores will follow, then Kevin Plawecki in the 9th. New York 3, Atlanta 1. It's got a first inning run, 2 in the 6th. Atlanta's run came in the 5th. Nick Markakis with an RBI single. Mets trying to catch the Nationals in the East. Washington in a 1-1 game with the Twins in the 8th inning at Nationals Park. Ball 2 outside. These two men spent a lot of time in the same locker room, both as Pittsburgh Pirates. Walker played behind Jason Grilli at second base when Jason was on the mound. They tied him up inside, 2-2. Swing and a miss. Walker's forced to walk the plank. There's out number 1. Follow Braves baseball live with the MLB.com at bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the number 1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet.
Good work by Hunter Cervenka. Struck out 2 of the 4 guys he faced. Both strikeouts were left-handed hitters.
Tell you what, the Braves bullpen's done a nice job today. Throw Alexi Agondo in there as well. He pitched an inning and 1/3. He struck out 3 men. Cervenka struck out 2. Now Grilli with a strikeout to start the 9th. Popped up behind the plate. AJ will give chase, and they'll have no play. Wilmer Flores' offensive season hasn't started the way he would have liked. He's 1 for his first 20.
Pretty good breaking ball there. Flores able to lay off. Jason's done a good job of getting ahead of Flores. Try to dictate the at bat. Fell behind Walker but made a nice comeback. He's throwing hard. He's been around 93.
Foul back again. Good battle by Wilmer Flores.
Yeah, that was a good pitch. He spoiled there.
Check swing. Out to short. And a long throw. And the stretch not in time to beat Wilmer Flores. Infield hit. The Braves might challenge this.
The only chance on a check swing like that is if the third baseman could cut that ball off and have a shorter throw on the run. Garcia not able to get to it. Flores obviously safe. And it took Castro an extra step to get the ball out of his glove too.
So is this a Braves challenge or is this a umpire's challenge? Our replay showed definitively that he was safe.
Yeah, he is safe.
This would be a quick review, I would think. And Wilmer Flores should be at first with one man out. So tomorrow night we got the Red Sox. Different looking Boston team, Joe, than one we've seen in years past. They have a lot of the same players, but a couple of them are playing different positions. Most notably Hanley Ramirez, who's now first baseman rather than a left fielder for the Red Sox.
They've also got a new closer.
Someone we've known to love here in Atlanta.
Yeah, Craig Kimbrell now the closer for the Red Sox as well. David Ortiz in his last year of Major League Baseball doing his farewell tour as well.
58-second review. And the call was correct at first base. And now Plawecki, the hitter. 1 on, 1 out, 9th inning. Can't give the Mets any more. They lead 3-1. Oh, and 2.
AJ hanging on to that one for a little longer look. He wanted it.
And he should have gotten it, it appears.
Yeah.
One ball, 2 strikes. And served to right. Markakis puts that away. That's the second out of the inning. Braves Live presented by Xfinity will follow us. Good ball game today. An exciting day in Braves history. Aaron Blair with his first major league starting assignment. The youngster went 5 1/3 innings, 3 runs, 6 hits. But the Mets spoiled the party with an early run, 2 in the 6th inning as well. And they lead 3-1 here in the 9th, trying to sweep the Braves. Ball 1.
Let's have their closer ready to go. Familia's ready. Picked up a save here Friday night.
Grilly's the 3rd Atlanta reliever. Familia will be the 4th for the Mets. 2 balls and a strike for Lagares as Wilmer Flores chased back at first. Jason's battled back to even it up, 2-2. Bouncing ball right side. What a play, Freeman. Bad throw, but handled by Castro at second. A rocket from Freddie Freeman. And that ends the inning and sends us to the home 9th. Last call for the Braves, down 3-1.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Atlanta Braves and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Atlanta Braves.
Great way to see your Braves during this final season at Turner Field. Save off the regular game price and custom build your 4-game plan. Or pick a popular one like the bobblehead, Friday night fireworks, or Sunday Kids Day plans by visiting Braves.com. Jeurys Familia is the Mets closer, and he's going to come on with a 2-run lead in the Atlanta ninth.
Hard thrower, 94-97 with a slider and a split finger pitch that he will employ on occasion. 4 for 4 in saves. He picked up his 4th save here Friday night against the Braves. Did walk a batter, also struck out one.
Kelly Johnson, Eric Ibar, and Malik Smith are the first 3 hitters up for the Braves in the bottom of the 9th inning. Ball 1. I like it. 2-0. Braves need base runners. The Mets have not walked a batter in this game. 2-1. Line drive, a base hit by Kelly Johnson. So there's a start. Familia greeted with a leadoff hit.
Turned around some 96-mile-an-hour gas, running away from him and hit it that way. Good start to the inning. Tying run at the plate.
Familia thought that baseball was defective, so he gets a new one and faces Ibar. Eric needs a 4-leaf clover. He's 4 for his last 44 at the plate. Broken bat, slowly out to short. The Mets will make the peg to first. Kelly Johnson with a hard slide in safely at second with 1 out. And Malik Smith is coming up.
Smart play by Cabrera. Made sure he got 1 out. He might have been able to cut down Kelly at second base, but that was even risky.
Jeff Rancourt is on deck. Malik Smith is the batter. Runner at second, barring a base running mistake. No double play opportunity for the Mets. Another broken bat. Another chance at short. And a good throw gets Malik Smith.
It was right off the end of the bat. Probably a cupped in his bat that just splintered it.
So Jeff is the final hope for the Braves. Runner at second, 2 outs in the 9th inning. Right there, a strike.
Got the benefit of the doubt on that call, too.
There's a base hit by Jeff to right field. Here comes Kelly around third. They'll wave him home. RBI hit for Francoeur. It's a one-run game.
Jeff continues his good homestand, and this time against a hard-throwing right-hander. Looked like a breaking ball. Familia shook off a couple of signs, and then leaves one up and into Jeff, and he fights it off with a knock. Jeff swinging it really well.
Drew Stubbs will pinch run for Francoeur. Drew's got good speed. Let's see if he can make his way into scoring position for Markakis. Nick has 2 hits in his last 2 at-bats. And he hits one off the end of the bat. Roller toward short. Bare hand try. Ball dropped. Everybody's safe. And Stubbs is in scoring position. An infield hit from Markakis. And the Braves, down to their last out, are giving this big crowd a finish at home.
That was right off the end of the bat. I think they're just wearing out Cabrera. They've hit 3 that way. And as far as he had to go for that one, there was no chance to get Markakis, even if he fields it cleanly.
What do we say? Put it in play and something good can happen.
And again, pressure on the defense, pressure on the pitcher to make a good pitch. Infield's got to figure out some way to knock the ball down to keep it from getting to the outfield, or the Braves tie it up.
Big day for Daniel Castro. 3 singles. That pitch was thrown with some anger. 97 miles an hour. Pulled foul at third.
Off his foot. They're not holding Stubbs close at second base. He's getting a real good sized lead. The outfielders have shortened up for Castro. Here's the foul ball with his instep. Conforto's at normal depth in left field, but Lagares and Granderson very shallow. With Stubbs' lead and his speed, I don't think they could throw him out on a base hit. Granderson shortening up even more. Wow, an 0-2 count.
Hit it over his head, Daniel. 0-2. Pop toward right. Granderson takes a peek at the stands and runs out of room.
Another thing on the defense that on a base hit that you know is going to tie the game. Crack of the bat, Markakis will be running. You've got to be aware that he might try to go first to third or come around.
Bouncing ball to second. Walker to a knee. And the Mets hold off the Braves and sweep the series by a final score of 3-2. Once again, the Braves pick up 12 hits but could manage just 2 runs as Jacob deGrom, a proud new father, wins for the first time as a new dad. And Aaron Blair in his big league debut suffers a tough luck loss.